welcome back to my channel. Today we are finally doing a review on the Osmosis Color CC Cream. I know that ever since Brianna Stanko talked about Osmosis and their skincare and their makeup, it's been like a big thing. She absolutely loves this, so I was like, you know what, most of what she loves I do, so I'm going to check it out. I did get this from Premier Look, and I want to give props to their customer service because, I mean, I'm not going to go into a big thing, but they're awesome. Just so you know. So anytime you have the opportunity to order from Premier Look, I totally suggest it. So I got the color Warm. It does come with a pump. It is $44 and it comes in a 1.7 ounces or 50 milliliter tube. Okay, so it's very reminiscent of like the It Cosmetics CC Cream tube, where it is a kind of a squeeze tube, but it does have a pump. I'll show, I got the color Warm. If I didn't just say that, I may have just said that, but I'll show more about the actual product in the demo. I got lots of stuff going on back here because I'm packing. No judgment. It comes in 7 shades. And a lot of people have issues with the shades, but I do feel like they kind of self-adjust. So they're a little bit more forgiving, as with most BB and CC creams, than with a liquid foundation. So if you think you're kind of in between one shade, I think if you got one or the other, you'd probably be okay. And Brianna does have good swatches on Premier Look as well as her Instagram if you want to check that out. This is gluten-free and vegan. It's, you know, they tout themselves on having all natural ingredients in their products, and this is no exception. I will say this does have titanium dioxide in it. However, it does not have an SPF. I know somebody commented and said, you know, they're loving the CC cream. It's got great, SPF, sun coverage, and this and this. And I said, well, mine doesn't have an SPF listed on it. And she said, yeah, but it's got titanium dioxide in the ingredients. Well, it does. However, titanium dioxide is not always used solely for SPF. So I messaged Osmosis on Instagram, and this is their reply. I said, does your CC cream contain SPF? I know titanium dioxide is high up on the list, but I also know that it's also used for pigment sometimes and not SPF. I did not see it listed on the container, so I thought I would check with you. Thank you. Hi again. While our CC cream does contain natural ingredients that do offer some sun protection, it does not necessarily contain any dosage of SPF and will not protect against prolonged sun exposure. If you're looking for a heavier SPF protection in your makeup, we recommend blah, 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 blah. Thank you for your question. So this does not have any kind of SPF that's going to actually like protect you from the sun. So do keep that in mind. If you see titanium dioxide in an ingredient list anywhere, that doesn't mean that it has SPF in it. So I don't want anybody to not wear sunscreen when you're using this. But the whole thing is that they claim that this is going to brighten, hydrate, and give the look of lifted, luminous skin, therefore making you look like you have more of a youthful complexion. So we're gonna see if it does that. We're going to see if it softens, lifts, and illuminates like the package says. So if you want to see the demo of this and see how it works for me and my skin and wears throughout the day, then just keep on watching. Okay, so we're going to start out with the CC cream. It does have a pump. I probably showed you this in the intro, but I haven't filmed the intro yet, so you know. And I'm just going to pump out 2 pumps to start out with. Now, this is the way I have found that it goes on the best for me. I have to, kind of like the Philosophy Skin Tint that I love so much, I kind of have to start out with my fingers and then pat in with a sponge to get the most even streak-free coverage. So I'm checking first to see if I have anything that really needs covered up. And I always have redness. I don't think it comes across as much when like I edit the redness on my face, but somebody said something about it. I don't remember it wasn't a mean comment or anything. They were just asking a question, and I don't think I've ever talked about it, but the redness is something that has gotten better as I've gotten older, which is kind of opposite of what it normally does, but it is my one thing that I'm the most self-conscious about. And this is because growing up, my redness was so bad. When I was growing up, like up until high school, I was overweight, and I had like really long streaks of like red rosiness. I mean, people would ask me, like, I remember on the bus in elementary school, did you put your blush on wrong? Like, it's the thing I'm most self-conscious about. So know that when I talk about wanting to cover up my redness, like, I don't want anybody to take offense because maybe their redness is worse than mine. I'm just letting you know. I don't know why I felt like I had to explain that, but I don't know. I don't feel like I ever have. And when I talk about my redness, I think some of y'all might be like, she don't have any redness, but it's just not really translating over camera, and I may not have as much as I think I have. So just know that. But I do have a little bit more redness on this side than this side. I do have some right here that I'm going to want to cover. So we're just going to start out with our fingers. So I'm going to pump 2 pumps out. Now it does come out white, which I'm sure if you've seen anything about this, you've seen that before. And when you rub it, there's little tiny pigment capsules in here. They kind of burst, and that's what provides the pigment on your skin. So I'm just going to take a little bit on my finger. And that's another reason I think that using your fingers is essential, because those pigments I don't think are going to burst as easily with a sponge or a brush. I have used a brush and I didn't like it as much. This can be a little streaky, and with a brush it's a lot streaky, I find. So I actually think this color would work for me better when I'm don't have a tan. But I don't know if you can see, there's just a few streaks like above my mouth. And so I'm just going to go in with my sponge and just tap. Now, do know that when I use this sponge, it just took a little bit of product off right here. So I have to be really, like I'm just holding it with 2 fingers, really soft when I'm patting it. I just want to get the streaks away. Okay, so this side doesn't have CC cream, this side does. I hope it's coming across that this to me is sheer to light coverage. I can still see the redness right there, and I can still see a little bit right there. Not much difference, in my opinion, from this side of my face to this side of my face. And that was probably 1 pump worth of product, because I took half of what's on my hand. So let's take that other half, see if it does any better over here. So you can see how it changes from the white to the skin tone color. This actually, I mean, it's called warm, but I feel like it pulls a little pink on me. So I think you can see, hopefully you can see more the streakiness that kind of comes, and then you've got it all over your hands, which whatever. I mean, I deal with that with the skin tint, but. So that right there, I have not done anything to my forehead. That right there is 2 pumps worth of product. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a little bit, like maybe half of a pump, put it on my forehead real quick. And now we've got the whole face done. Now again, I don't know if it's going to translate on camera, but I do feel it pulls a little pink on my skin. And I'm going to show you how I've been building this up to try to get a little bit more coverage on my most red spots. So keep in mind, we've already used 2.5 pumps. I'm just going to use maybe like another half of a pump. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to warm it up and kind of break those capsules on the back of my hand. Kind of like that, so where it's the pigment's starting to come through. And then I'm just going to apply it straight to my beauty blender and kind of tap over the places that I feel the redness still peeking through. I don't find that I can build it by rubbing it on itself again, because then it just rubs the product that I had underneath it off. So that's the only way I can feel that I can build it, and it's still not a ton of like coverage. Like it didn't build up huge. I can still see skin. It did even it out a little bit, and it does have somewhat of a, really not even like a luminous finish. It's really just, I mean, I would say it's just really just natural. I did not use any kind of primer. I used the Smashbox primer water because I didn't want to affect the finish of it. So you can see it didn't really do anything for my pores as far as making them look smaller. It didn't accentuate them either though. So it's going to be pretty basic in that extent. So I'm going to finish up my makeup and I'll come back and show you the final. Okay, so this is me with the full face of makeup on. I will say that when I was putting my liquid bronzer on, which I used the NARS Laguna, which is probably the thinnest of the liquids that I own right now. I do feel like it pulled up a little bit of product, but I don't think once I put my blush on and stuff that you could really tell the difference. But other than that, everything went on fine. I'll list everything I have down below, but I'm gonna zoom you in real quick. The only thing I'm not loving is the fact that it doesn't do much for pores. Now, you can use a pore filling primer, but I'm gonna talk more about like primers with this towards the end of the video, but with no kind of pore filling primer, I do feel like it kind of stands out a little bit. But other than that, I mean, it leaves a nice light finish. Now, I can still see redness down here. So like that's obviously my blush, but I can see a little bit of redness down here. So, and my chin, I cannot build this up on my chin. That's one thing. Let me zoom y'all out. For some reason, I cannot do it. So I do feel like I'm a little like pinker on my chin than I am the rest. but I don't think that it's really obvious to anybody but me. So I have got a lot to do today, a lot. I am leaving tomorrow for my cruise, so I've got to pack my kids up to get ready to go to grandma's house. I've got to pack myself up. I have a nail appointment. I have to go to the grocery, like I have a full day. So it is only 8:30. So we're getting a little bit of an early start, and so I will be able to get this a very good run test, and I will be right back to show you at the end of the day how it looks and how it wore for me. Okay guys, we're back. It is now 8:30 at night. So I've had this foundation on for probably, I mean, a little over 12 hours, but you know, by the time I finished my entire face, it had been on for a little while. So I have not like looked up close in a while, so I'm gonna grab a mirror real quick and kind of check out the situation that's going on my face right now. It's not the best situation, I'm just going to say. Let me zoom you in, so hopefully that you can see what I'm probably gonna have to brighten this in editing. My pores look very big. Like, I don't know if you could tell. It is caking up around my nose, but then again, my nose is kind of shiny also. My chin, I had talked about that. Really, I hope that it's coming across. It really doesn't have much product on it at all. And my smile lines are starting, you know, you can see it's settled a little bit into those. My forehead's okay. It's a little bit cakey right here. Like, I don't know if you can see. It's almost off color a little bit. And you can definitely now see, this is the red that I'm talking about. You can definitely see that coming through on both sides of my face. So you can see that there. And there's almost like just a stripe of the CC cream going down my nose, and then on either side there's not much left, if you can see. So here's my final 2 cents on this CC cream. When I first apply it, and I've tried it with primers, I've tried it just today, I had the Smashbox primer on. I do think this is something that needs an actual primer to it to help with longevity and pores. If you have big pores, I don't even consider myself to have like huge pores, and I feel like they're just kind of accentuated a little bit right now. So if you do have larger pores to start out with, you are going to want to use like a pore filling primer. And I have found that the best primer that has worked with this so far is this little baby of the Tarte Poreless Primer, probably because it helped with pores and it really smooths the skin out, and it's mattifying, so I'm not gonna get, I didn't get like a shiny nose, even though I'm not really oily. You know, I did cardio today, and so, you know, I sweated a little bit, but it wasn't as bad as like a full workout, but it did look the best with this. And as far as like powders, I don't really feel like that's changes it in any way. So I don't feel like there's like one powder that worked the best with it. I feel like the biggest change is going to come from a primer. It just does not last on me. Like, I have so many CC creams and BB creams and foundations and skin tints and stuff that will last me like 18 hours if I'm up that long, and it won't separate like this on my face or make my pores look big. It's just, I don't know what it is about this. I don't know if it's an ingredient in it or what, but it just doesn't want to last on me. It does last better with a primer, but it kind of has a sweet spot for me. Like, I don't love it when I first apply it, but about 2 hours later, I really like how it looks. And then like 4 hours after that, I don't love it anymore. So there's like a little sweet spot in the middle of the day where I really enjoy it. But for me to like look forward to using a foundation, like I need the sweet spot to last me the actual 12 to 16 hours, or it just doesn't make sense for me to wear it because, you know, I might have to go somewhere right after I apply it, or my big thing that I'm doing for the day where I actually want to look presentable may not be until like 7 hours after I've had it on. So I need it to be consistently good throughout the day, and this just doesn't do that for me like I want it to. I don't know what else to say. I mean, there are some people who absolutely love it, and you know, I feel like I have to say this every time I do a foundation review, and I've really just got to suck it up, be the 36-year-old woman that I am, and realize that hopefully everybody watching understands that just because I don't like this doesn't mean you're not gonna like this. But I do know that this isn't something you can go get at Sephora or Ulta and get a sample of, and so I don't know. It's gonna be something that you want to maybe do a little more research on, see if you think it's gonna work better for you, because like I said, Brianna Stanko loves this stuff. So you know, just because I don't like it doesn't mean anything, but I do want you to know how it works for me, and that's how it works for me. The coverage, like, the redness isn't showing as much right here, but y'all could, I know y'all saw it when I got up close because I could see it in the viewfinder. Light, I mean, it's light coverage. I wouldn't even say it's like medium. For me, it's light coverage. Because of the way it comes out white and pigment, it's hard to build it up with your fingers because then it just wipes everything off, and a brush doesn't work well for me, and a beauty blender sometimes doesn't always burst all those pigment particles, so then you just have like black specks on your face. So I don't know. It's just not a super big win for me. It's not one that, like, this took me quite a while to do because I just didn't want to wear it. Like, you know, I put my 5 days in that I tried to do for all my reviews, but they weren't 5 days in a row. I just couldn't bring myself to do it. I was just like, nah, I don't feel like wearing that today. Or I'm going to this place and I want my skin to look really good, and I did not reach for this. So if that tells you anything, I would have a much faster reach for my Philosophy Skin Tint or my like Bare Minerals Complexion Rescue or something like that if I'm wanting a BB cream type texture and feel, but something that's going to last me throughout the whole day. So that's my 2 cents on this. The Osmosis Color CC Cream. I don't know how long I'm going to keep it. It may end up in a blog sale. I'm not sure. But those are my thoughts on it. Hope this helped somebody. And I do appreciate y'all watching. I hope you subscribe before you leave so you don't miss out on any future foundation videos, CC cream videos, haul videos, favorites videos, you know, the list goes on. And yeah, I think that's it. So I believe that when this goes up, I will still be on my cruise. Don't hesitate to comment because I will get back with you in a few days when I return. Love y'all so much. And as always, I hope you have a very blessed day.